I want you to picture something very specific. It's a Saturday afternoon. You're relaxed. Maybe you just woke up. Maybe you're watching something. Maybe you're just doing nothing, which is allowed. Your phone is nearby. The group chat with your boys is quiet, the way it usually is on Saturday mornings before someone says something stupid and it blows up. And then it blows up. Not with something stupid, with a link. No caption. Just a link dropped by one of your boys at 11:43 a.m. on a Saturday. Then another boy sends a question mark emoji. Then another sends the eyes emoji. Then another just says, "Bro." You click the link. It's your girlfriend's OnlyFans. She has been running it for 8 months. 8 months. You have been together for 14. And every single one of your boys found it before you did. My name is Andre. I was 23, working in IT support, not glamorous, but I was good at it and moving up. I had my own place, a clean car, a small circle of people I trusted completely. I was the kind of man who was loyal to a fault and knew it and considered it a feature rather than a bug. Her name was Jasmine. We had been together 14 months. She was funny, confident, the kind of woman who owned every room she walked into. I was proud to be with her. Genuinely proud. I introduced her to my boys early, brought her to family things, made it clear to everyone in my life that she was not a situationship. She was my girl. My boys liked her. That matters in a way that is hard to explain if you haven't experienced it. When your boys approve, it adds a layer of certainty to the whole thing. It feels validated, real, which is exactly why what happened on that Saturday hit the way it did. It was not just that she had a secret. It was that the secret got exposed to the exact people whose approval I had been most proud of. The men who had nodded at me and said, "Yeah, she's good people." Those were the same men now sitting in a group chat staring at a link with their question mark emojis and their eyes emojis and their one-word replies that said everything without saying anything at all. I need to walk you through exactly what that group chat looked like because I think the sequence matters. 11:43 a.m. Darius drops the link. No caption, just the link. 11:44 a.m. Marcus sends a question mark. 11:44 a.m. Kevin sends the eyes emoji. 11:45 a.m. Darius sends, "Scroll down, bro." 11:46 M. That's when I opened it. I'd been in the bathroom. I came back to my phone and saw 14 unread messages in the chat and assumed it was the usual Saturday nonsense. It was not the usual Saturday nonsense. The page loaded. Her name was different, a version of her middle name, but the face was unmistakable. The bio listed her city. The content had been uploading consistently for 8 months. She had subscribers, paid subscribers, men who had been seeing my girlfriend in ways I had believed were private, paying for the privilege while I was taking her to dinner and introducing her to my family and telling my boys she was the one. 11:47 a.m. I typed, "Yeah, I see it." The chat went completely silent after that. No more emojis, no more replies. Just silence, which was somehow the loudest thing in the conversation. Because here's the thing about your boys finding out before you do. They don't know what to say. There is no protocol for this. They cannot be angry on your behalf until they know how you are receiving it. So they go quiet and they wait. And that silence sits on you like weight. I put my phone face down. I sat in my apartment for about 20 minutes, just processing the geometry of it. 8 months, 14 months together. The math meant she had started this 6 months in. 6 months in, when we were past the honeymoon phase, when things had settled into something that felt real and chosen and intentional. She had looked at what we were building and decided to build something else alongside it without telling me, like two separate projects running in parallel that were never supposed to intersect. They intersected on a Saturday at 11:43 a.m. in a group chat with 6 people in it. I called her that afternoon. Not a text, a call. I was not going to have this conversation in writing where she could edit herself. I told her my boys had found her OnlyFans. I told her I had seen it. I asked her to explain. There was a pause, and then she said, "It's just content. It's my body, and it's my choice what I do with it." I said, "I'm not arguing about your right to do it. I'm asking why you hid it from me for 8 months." She said, "Because I knew you'd react exactly like this." Let me explain what just happened in that sentence, because it is important and it is subtle, and if you have been in this situation, you will recognize it immediately. She did not answer the question. She reframed it. The question was, "Why did you hide this?" The answer she gave was, "Because of how you would react," which means the problem is now my reaction, not her deception. The 8 months of secrecy have been quietly reassigned as a reasonable response to my unreasonableness. I said, "So you hid it because you knew I would have a problem with it," which means you knew I would have a problem with it, which means you made a decision that affected our relationship without telling me and justified that decision by predicting my feelings in advance. She said, "You're being controlling." I said, "I'm being a man who found out his girlfriend had a secret for 8 months from a group chat with his boys." She said, "Maybe you need to think about why you're so insecure." I hung up, not in anger, in clarity. There was nothing left to say. She had told me everything I needed to know, not about the OnlyFans, but about how she saw me. I was not a partner whose feelings deserved consideration. I was an obstacle whose reactions needed to be managed. That was the last conversation we had. I met someone about a year after the breakup. I am not going to make this about comparing the two women because that is not the point of this story. What I will tell you is this: she is honest in a way that I did not know I was missing until I experienced it. Not dramatically honest, just consistently, quietly, without effort honest. She does not hide things. She does not manage my reactions in advance. She does not reframe my legitimate concerns as personality flaws. She just tells me the truth, and I tell her the truth, and it turns out that is what a relationship is supposed to feel like. I heard through the group chat, the same group chat where the link was dropped, that Jasmine had tried to reach out to one of my boys to ask how I was doing. He told her I was good. She asked if I was seeing someone. He said, yeah. She never contacted me directly. I do not know if that was pride or awareness or something else entirely. I have not thought about it enough to have an opinion. That Saturday, when I saw her OnlyFans, was the beginning of the best 2 years of my life. Not despite what happened, because of it. The humiliation was the fuel. The silence was the strategy. The work was the answer. It always is.